to help people get sleep. But before we invite him out, check out this quick video.
Sleep specialist Dr. Mehmet Junet Demirusu believes sleep should be our #1 priority, especially since we spend a third of our life sleeping.
When you go to the bed, don't start doing other things. Don't start thinking the job. And if you want to have a good sleep, you need to relax there. Only use the bedroom as a sleep.
In other words, people need to develop good sleep hygiene. Sleep inhibitors include late-night workouts, drinking caffeine, and using electronics, like watching TV.
So you kind of need to look at your schedule and, set your hours, what time you should sleep, what time you should wake up, and make that as a habit, Every time, every night, try to do the same things.
Demirusu's private practice, South Bay Regional Comprehensive Sleep Disorder Center, treats patients who suffer from sleep disorders.
Some of them is so dangerous and treatable, and people are not aware of it. Like sleep apnea that we talk about it, narcolepsy, we have like insomnia. Don't just say it, hey, look, I'm tired, or I can't refresh, I'm not getting sleep, ignore it. I think go see a specialist.
And now joining us is the sleep expert himself, Dr. Mehmet Demirusu. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, as far as being a sleep expert, I mean.
Yes, I started actually, I'm specialized in internal medicine, pulmonary and critical care, and sleep medicine. But I have been involved with the sleep, with the academically, research, and also clinically for the last 25 years.
Well, talking about sleep, the Centers for Disease Control estimates that 50 to 70 million U.S. adults have problems sleeping. I'm actually definitely one of them. I can't sleep at night. I stay up till past midnight. And the mornings, it's hard to wake up. What can I do about that?
Yeah, a lot of people have sleep problems, and sometimes we ignore that sleep is just is a passive state that we just rest. But don't forget that actually what you do in the daytime is affect your sleep, and what happens in your sleep is also affecting your daytime activities. So many people ask me, they say, I can't get a good sleep, but I think we call him sleep hygiene, which means that you need to prepare yourself to sleep even in the daytime. So if you have a difficulty initiating sleep or maintaining sleep, these are different things. We want to be sure that you're first of all healthy, have no medical problems that causing you not to fall asleep. So that doctor should see you, examine you, get some blood checked up and everything, and then we need to talk about what is making you not to sleep, or is your sleep good enough? You said you're sleeping 5.5 hours. Some people actually, a good healthy 5.5 hours sleep might be a good sleep.
So we don't necessarily have to have 8 hours of sleep?
No, absolutely not. Theoretically we say 7 hours is adequate. And actually when we're born, when you're a little baby, you sleep more. Definitely. You sleep like sometimes even like 18 hours. Think about it, And then the older we get, actually we sleep less and less. But the importance is this: if your sleep is like adequate and refreshing and a healthy sleep, and you will be feeling totally normal the next day, and when you wake up and in the daytime, and you're not like tired, you're not exhausted, you're not falling asleep in the job, it means that it's adequate for you. So it's individually changed. Some people 7 hours, 7.5 hours. It's rarely, depends on your age too. It's 8 hours, I think, too much sleep. But 5 hours, even some people 5 hours, even they are like really refreshed.
See, when I get home, I tend to work about 12 hours, 14 hours a day for the most part, and I like to get home and I won't fall straight to sleep. I like to maybe watch TV or something just to kind of unwind a little bit. Would you say that that's normal for a person to do after getting home from work?
Yes. Actually, we call them, you need to have that quiet and relaxing time before you fall asleep. If you come out of work or come do a late exercise, you're already hyped up, it's very difficult to fall asleep, So you need to kind of make your plan. Let's say that every day, you want to wake up 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, depends what kind of job you're doing. But also you need to plan, say that, listen, I'm going to sleep 7 hours is enough for me, so I need to sleep 10 o'clock. Let's say that. And you need to prepare. You can't just come home 10 o'clock and fall asleep. If you eat very late, and you can fall asleep. Second, your
Right.
sleep is not going to be refreshing at all.
Yeah.
If you go exercise like 9 o'clock, come home like 10 o'clock and want to sleep, you can't fall asleep again either. So this is very important. So you need to kind of come, relax a little bit, and then second, you need to prepare yourself to relax and get the thoughts out of it when you go to the bed. If you sit down in a bed and thinking about your job, thinking about things,
Guilty.
and if you get anxious, and even let's say that you have a very important meeting in the daytime, you start anxious at night, you cannot fall asleep.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I remember we were talking that one time when I came out and visited your sleep clinic. You mentioned there was like up to 70 sleep disorders. I mean, how is that even possible?
Sleep disorders became a specialty now. So the doctors are trained and get fellowship after their residency. And there's so many sleep disorders. These are some of them, the sleep disorders that cause us problem in our sleep and even daytime activities. And there is 70 different disorders. Some of them like very common ones: sleep apnea, narcolepsy, restless leg syndrome, and jet lags. And we have like shift workers and delayed sleep phase syndrome. So there's many, but in general, also, it's very important. Let's say that I want to add one thing for you. Let's say that people don't know what they drink or eat.
Right.
It's very important if you get a coffee, late coffee,
forget
you're
it.
not going to fall asleep, And it's very important that something that you drink relaxing, for example. Many times a glass of milk or, something that can relax you, make you fall asleep, much healthier. Or if you take an alcohol. If you take an alcohol, many people take alcohol, they wake up also, in the middle of the night, and and then they have the divided sleep, and it's a not refreshing sleep. So, but some of the sleep disorders, maybe we'll talk, about that too, that cause a problem not to have a refreshing sleep, a deep sleep, and a dream sleep, because sleep has 5 stages too. So in those, like, each stage has some kind of, function for our life, So deep sleep and dream sleep, if you don't get it enough, you can sleep even 20 hours. Some patients, they never get refreshed.
So basically, our body knows when to go through the different stages.
If you have a healthy sleep and you don't have any medical condition or any sleep disorders that we diagnose, and you should have those stages that go through. We call them sleep architecture. Most of the people go in initial stage 1, and then they'll go stage 2, and then go 3 and 4 is a deep sleep, and then 90 minutes later you go into dream sleep. And that 3-4 times at night, you rotate that same cycle.
So sometimes when we wake up and we remember those dreams,
Okay.
that's why.
That's also a good question. We call them, for example, there's another sleep disorder. We call them nightmares, night terrors, dream anxiety attacks. All these is different disorder. If you wake up from a dream, which means that you wake up actually most likely from a REM sleep, we call it rapid eye movement sleep, and you wake up from there. You see what happened is this: that's a very active sleep, but you actively dreaming, and if you wake up, you will remember your dream. But if you wake up in a delta sleep that you're dreaming, you even wake up panic or something in the morning, you will not remember that dream.
That's
Because it's in a
definitely.
deep sleep.
Yeah.
Now, there was one disease disorder, that you mentioned, and we hear it a lot: sleep apnea. For
Yes.
those of us that don't know, what is sleep apnea?
Sleep apnea is a very common, like you said, and it's a very dangerous. At the same time, it doesn't discriminate any age, any race, and it can happen. Approximately like 6% of the population has sleep apnea. What sleep apnea is this: most of the people, some of the signs are like this: they snore, and in the sleep they stop breathing, and they don't know it. They don't know that stuff unless the bed partner is the one that's saying, hey, look, you stop breathing, you're snoring so loud, in between you're choking, you're not breathing. So this is sleep apnea. What happens in the sleep apnea is this: actually, people who snores is a kind of this is a sign that you can tell that you might. And if you're also daytime tired, and each time you stop breathing and snore, it lasts sometimes average, I would say, like 20 seconds. And then when your oxygen levels start dropping because you're not breathing,
Right.
and most of the time we call them obstructives, in the upper airway where you snore, the soft palate and uvula is the one that's vibrating, but they collapse on you. When we sleep, your throat's supposed to be open. And then you're supposed to be breathing in and out. But in the sleep, you get relaxed, your tongue goes backwards, and they collapse on you. And then your oxygen start dropping. Although your abdomen start moving to get air, but in the upper airway, there's an obstruction. It's not, you're not getting air. And then when the oxygen level drops certain level, the brain says, listen, you're not breathing. And it's dangerous, so it wakes you up. So you wake up and you repeat this 20 seconds events. Actually, the shortest can be apnea, will be 10 seconds, but some people even stop 70 seconds.
Oh, wow.
That's a long
And
time.
this,
dangerous.
yes, it's very dangerous, and it repeats itself like all through the night. I have patients that stop, let's say, 100 times an hour.
Oh,
And I have
gosh.
patients that stop like more than 5, we call them abnormal. So if 5 events happen in 10 seconds in a night, we will say normal, less than that. But if it's more than that, it can be very dangerous. And sleep apnea is unrecognized unless somebody like your bed partner or somebody mention, and they are very vigilant about how it is. And then they will tell you. Most of my patients come says, hey, look, I'm sleeping so good, I have no problem, because they sleep all the time. Because they are so tired. All those sleep apnea patients, they sleep like sometimes even 10 hours, 12 hours. They never refresh. Because they never also, interestingly, the dream sleep that you ask, they never go into dream sleep. They never even go to, very little they go if they do, and the deep sleep. So their sleep is not refreshing at all. And because of that, it's a dangerous problem. It's a dangerous problem, not only your health, it's dangerous, it affects your job, because next thing people say, you know what, you're not like, you're always tired, you don't have energy, you fall asleep in the job. And so this problem, of course, sleep apnea, happens even to the kids. Kids that, sometimes tired they're not performing good in the school. Their teachers even say.
This basically can affect anyone, like you were saying. It's crazy, and it's actually kind of dangerous. Dr. DeMaruso, thank you so
Yes.
much for joining us.
Oh, you're
I think
welcome.
we learned everything that we could possibly want to know about sleep.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know. Come alive with the forest. The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size.
We know what you told us.
There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat. Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Our next story involves the Parks and Recreation Foundation Golf Tournament, which raises money to help revitalize parks and multiple centers around Hawthorne. Francisco, you had the opportunity to speak with a member of the foundation.
Yeah, I recently talked to one of the founders that works behind the scenes, so let's go check it out. Richard Hune has been a Hawthorne resident since 1966. He's been involved in multiple organizations.
I guess I'm a sucker. I can't say no.
But after he found out that funding for local parks was going to get cut, he knew that something had to be done.
So he thought, well, okay, maybe a nonprofit organization that could develop some money that we could do some things with, and that was the motivation for it, to do it.
Once the foundation was established, Hune created the annual golf tournament, which raises funds for parks and for places like the Teen Center.
This year, we're going to improve the tennis courts at Holly Glen Park, And we're going to do some things over at the castle that is used over there in Thorpe Park as well.
Richard Hune is such a great guy. He does so much for the community. You know, the Parks and Recs Foundation wouldn't be here without him.
Oh, wow, yeah. I mean, I remember last year when we covered it, they actually upgraded the computer room in the senior center, which is really nice because, you know, a lot of seniors are obviously retired. They want to find time in taking computer courses and things of that nature, maybe just searching on the search engine, whatever it may be. I mean, it's a really noble cause.
They definitely help out a lot of different organizations and programs. When I covered the golf tournament, they gave scholarships to 150 students and kids for swimming lessons, and they put in the fitness zone at Hawthorne Memorial Park and youth sports. I mean, they just do so much and give back so much for the community. I think it's great.
And it's just going to keep on going. This year, they're actually going to donate their funds to Jim Thorpe Park, which includes, you know, like the baseball field and the castle, which, for all of you that don't know, is it's a preschool for kids there, and they're just going to donate some money just to kind of get them some new equipment and make it look really nice.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be really lovely. And fundraising can sometimes seem like a kind of like what's the best word to use? Kind of almost like a chore or a task, but they do it in such a fun way. I mean, when we're out there covering, I mean, we're out there like literally from sunrise to sundown, and you can just totally see the guys having a ball, and it's always the same people that normally come back. Very rare do you see new faces.
I think they just like giving back to the community, and then at the end, at the dinner time, and then the bragging rights, and before that, at the dinner time, they have amazing prizes, you know, raffles that we even get to participate in. So I think it's great.
It's a win-win situation for everybody. I mean, you know, the community gets some money back and gets to revitalize certain parks and services, and the ones that are golfing, well, guess what? They're just out there having some fun.
Yeah.
And bragging rights.
And bragging rights. So it's
or they're not getting bragging rights, because I remember when I covered it, they have an award. What is it? If you're not so good, I don't remember what the title was, but I mean, it's basically kind of like a losers.
You know what? There are no losers in this tournament. Even if you're in last place, you still get a trophy.
Well, with everything that we've been talking about the foundation and all the great things they do, I really do hope that the public takes an initiative and come out to this year's golf tournament. That does it for this edition of The Buzz. Thanks for watching. If you have a topic you'd like to discuss or would like to be a guest on our show, call 310-349-1630. See you next time.